Jets. And Mike, I talked to JK right before the game during the pregame warm-up, and he's like, if I was active, I could go for 100 yards. I was like, okay, relax. But he's like, no, really, I feel that good. But the team just wants to be really reserved right now because we saw what happened with that running group last year. Injuries just demolished them, so they're going to be conservative, but he should be able to go this Sunday. In the meantime, Dak Prescott, we may have to just be a little bit patient here as he recovers from this surgery that he received on Monday. I was told all went well. Obviously, we know that they decided as an organization not to place him on IR, and head coach Mike McCarthy is not allowing Dak to even come to practice. He doesn't want to take any risks, any chances. Dak is at the facility rehabbing that hand as he begins that recovery process. And of course, they're trying to eye 6, 7, week 8 even. And, you know, Jerry has confidence that his starting quarterback will return hopefully by then.
Well, look, I mean, if it's week 8, then not putting him in IR is going to wind up having been an enormous mistake. Let's hear from the coach. You just touched on it. Here's Mike McCarthy yesterday talking about losing his quarterback.
It's very disappointing to lose your starting quarterback. It's extremely disappointing to lose Dak. But the reality is, you know, we need to go beat Cincinnati, and Cooper has the reins.
All right, so let's just remind everyone of who it is that we're talking about. When last seen, Cooper Rush started for an injured Dak Prescott last Halloween against the Vikings, and he played well. He threw 2 touchdown passes. Now both of them were to players who aren't on the Cowboys anymore. Cedric Wilson, and then the game winner late in the fourth to Amari Cooper. Cowboys won 20-16. So, look, I'm not sitting here telling you that everything is going to be just fine, but maybe all hope is not lost. Okay, let's take a nice tight shot on Damian Woody. I'm going to let you be the ultimate arbiter. I've asked this question all week. Are the Cowboys doomed without Dak Prescott? How are they going to be now without Dak, D. Wood? Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah, man, listen, you already mentioned it. Cooper Rush, who comes in, threw 2 touchdown passes in the game he started against the Minnesota Vikings to guys that are no longer on the team.
Right.
Combine that with the fact that no Tyron Smith. Hell, where the hell is Zeke at? Okay, we had the owner, Jerry Jones, you know, been talking all offseason about Zeke Elliott. Yeah. Zeke Elliott, you know, yeah, we got Dak Prescott, but, everything still run through Zeke. He's on the back of a milk carton. Please, can someone please find Zeke Elliott, because I need to see, like we talk about Zeke eating and stuff, I need to see Zeke eat.
This is a week to feed Zeke. Feed Zeke. They're playing Cincinnati. It's a tough game. The world is writing them off. This is the moment if Zeke Elliott is ever going to have another one.
Zeke has acid reflux. You can feed him all you want. It's coming right back up, man. Like, what are we talking about, man? Like, listen, with Dak Prescott, I had them losing. Right? I had Mike McCarthy getting fired by week 8 and Dan Quinn as the eventual head coach. I mean, you talk about the tough sledding for the first 6 games. It looks like the Giants won't be an easy out. You know, the Bengals are coming off an upsetting loss to their division rivals. Joe Burrow and that team almost came back and won after having 5 turnovers. They're going to get it fixed. Listen, they're in trouble. And I tell you what, Jerry World is Jerry Scary. He had a playoff mandate. You can go ahead and cancel Christmas.
Well, how about it? Let me make my case. Let me make my case that everything is going to be okay. All right, we're sitting here, no Amari Cooper. You know what? All we did was complain about Amari Cooper when he was there in the first place. The Buccaneers are going to make a lot of teams look bad. That's the offense they played against in week 1. Losing Dak is rough. But if you look at their schedule, the first 6, 7 weeks of the season, I see an opportunity, maybe it isn't this Sunday, to steal 2, 3 wins somewhere in there, keep their season afloat, then Dak comes back and saves the day. What do you think, Ninko?
I think Cooper Rush is in for a long day, considering Dak broke his thumb. He got hit once, now twice in the hand at the same. Because why? Because they had terrible blocking. And the pass rush got to him and hit him in the hand. So guess what? The backup is going to come in. The timing is going to be a little bit off. The offensive line is going to be similar to what they were. And the backup quarterback is going to get crushed too. So
how about Zeke? You mean Zeke? How about Zeke? D-Wood, Zeke.
Wait a minute. First of all, can I check the prescription on your glasses? Because I'm trying to see what you see in here. Okay? Because I'm just not. Listen, when Dak was in there, they didn't do squat. Think about that. They didn't do squat against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now all of a sudden Dak is out, and I'm supposed to believe that all of a sudden Cooper Rush and his offense is going to come alive? Like,
you got the Eagles, you got the defending champs, and you got the Super Bowl representation for the AFC. Like, Nick, just keep it real, man. See, you be too for that. Tell them what it is, man. This is a Pro Bowl game for you. Everybody over there playing rock, paper, scissors. They want to get to the right side so they can get their Pro Bowl stats up. This is when you eat.
the Cowboys are going to be bad. They're going to be really bad. And when you see what you're going against, and you see a backup quarterback, and you see the turnstile, you see a turnstile at tackle.
Yeah.
Hey, sacks. You're trying to get your stats up. You're trying to get paid. So again, I look at the Cowboys right now, and if you're Jerry Jones, you got to be sick. You got to be sick because you had an opportunity. Number one, you overpaid the running back. Everyone says don't pay the running back that much. Don't do it. Nobody does it. He did it. Didn't work out. So again, you look at the way that the roster is built. You go and you pay Dak, and really, what else did they do? They didn't address the offensive line. They didn't address the receiving core.
You know,
all the places that you need to have. And in 2022,
here's the thing about the
they got to
Cowboys.
be good at
Here's
in all
the
those
thing
areas.
about the Cowboys. We overrate how good they are when they're good. Now we're overrating how bad they are when they're bad. This is not one of the 3 or 4 worst teams in the National. Put the schedule, Chrissy, put the schedule back up there, the first couple of games. I get it. Maybe they lose this Sunday to Cincinnati. That's a really good team. There they are. You're telling me they can't
Have you
beat
seen
the Giants,
Saquon? No.
the Commanders, the Lions? You're telling me they can't win those games?
Have you seen the Lions?
I've seen the Lions. They lose every single week. I know they're close every week, but they always find a way to lose. You're telling me they can't win 2 or 3 of those games and still be in the thick of things when Dak comes back healthy?
No, not at all, Green. Listen, I had them 2 and 4. They're going to be behind the 8 ball, and the Eagles are the cream of this division. And they're not getting in the wild card. So if you don't win the division, you have no shot. Like Cooper, I'm telling you. Cooper Rush, we would be.
You get it, Cooper Rush. You go get him, Cooper.
Yeah, use this motivation.
To show everybody. And by the way, one other thing. By the way, D. Wood, I didn't appreciate that. I have acid reflux.
And in the elbow pad. Jameis Winston is going, to collect names to be comeback player of the year.
All right, so he likes the Saints a lot. And here's further fuel. The Bucs may very well lose again because look at their injury report. It's like a Pro Bowl roster. Brady is on there with just a rest designation, but 5 wideouts are on the list. 3 of them didn't practice. Both starting tackles. All right, Diana, the injury report in Tampa, that first came out. I saw Shefty tweeted that yesterday. Makes one a little bit nervous. What can you tell us?
Yeah, it does. That came from Wednesday, though, so that's the good news, right? We still got a few days left, but the Chris Godwin one is the one that really, that one stands out just because he just got back and now he's dealing with this hamstring injury. And we'll see if the Bucs are willing to take that risk and roll the die and throw him back out there. But, I know they were really happy with his rehab and how he returned off that ACL, but obviously a hamstring injury this early in the season could be something that could be nagging all year long. So the Julio Jones one, we talked about this in the offseason. Julio's going to be on this injury report every week. I can guarantee that. And it's just going to be, we're just going to see what happens on Sundays if he's going to be willing to go. This is the risk you take. He's an incredible player, but he comes with injury. So that's on the Bucs side of it, Mike.
Yeah.
The Saints side of it, you got Jameis Winston. Remember, he went in the blue tent on Sunday dealing with some back injury, and he was really sore, so he was very limited on Wednesday. I was told he's expected to go on Sunday against the Bucs, but obviously he's coming off a gigantic injury as well, so that soreness for a lot of players was really felt this past week.
All right, so it's a critical matchup. We got both teams coming in a little banged up, and the Saints have their number. We've talked about it repeatedly. The one game Tampa won in there, though, was the important one because it was the playoff game. Nick, Saints going to continue to dominate this matchup?
It's in the Dome, too.
Yes.
That's going to be tough. But I just think that Tampa and some of the question marks with the Saints, their quarterback's banged up. I know Tampa's banged up, too. But you look at the head coach. They don't have the head coach anymore. Sean Payton's gone. They got a new coach. So I'm going with Tampa on this one.
You like the Bucs?
I like the Bucs. I like the Bucs.
The division still runs through them. Bart looks skeptical.
He does.
How do you look?
I got the Saints. I think the Saints defensively matches up perfectly with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't even think, just from an identity standpoint, I don't think the Bucs, they're not even the same team that they were last year. You go from, what is it, no risk it, no biscuit with Bruce Arians. Now with Todd Bowles not going to be having the offense slinging the ball all over the field. He wants to play a more traditional type of game, run and
Is that good or bad?
I think initially it's probably bad because the offensive line is still trying to find its way. I don't know if they'll be able to run the ball like that against this New Orleans Saints defense. Right. So, I'm giving the edge to the Saints.
Well, you got the entire interior of Tom's offensive line we were talking about. Now both tackles are on the injury report. The Saints rushed the heck out of him anyway. Is Brady in trouble on Sunday?
He's in trouble, but Todd Bowles is going with the right plan, right? Because if you look at what happened to the Saints last week, Cordell Patterson ran the ball up and down their throat, and they had to really get hold of the game late in the season. But the same thing, Nico, that you said about the Saints, I can say about the Bucks because Todd Bowles is a new coach as well. He's the guy who was on staff. Here's the issue, right? They have bad matchups. And what we don't really talk about is how dominant Lattimore has always been traditionally against Mike Evans. So now when you don't have Chris Godwin, that allows you to be able to really, add another man to the box to make them one-dimensional.
Are they going to beat Tom Brady up? He was talking about all the lumps and bumps and bruises on his podcast after week 1. What's he going to look like after week 2?
Well, he's going to be in the wax like Triple X. You know what I mean? Because he's going to be all beat up. And the problem is a lot of these guys are sore a lot more because they don't hit in training camp. So this is the first time that they've been knocked to the ground. So now they're oversensitive. It's going to take about 3 or 4 weeks for everybody to get used to the physicality. Just like you got to get your pads set, you also got to get your body set for taking a beating for 17
Brady
weeks.
going to get beat up this week?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get knocked around a little bit. He's 45 years old. You push a 45-year-old, they just fall right over. So, yeah, of course, I think he's going to get beat up. But he's Tom Brady. He deals with it. He knows how to recover. He's got the pliability. He's got TB12. He's got all that stuff. So, again, it's just hard for me to look at the track record. I know the Saints have won a lot, but you can't just say they're just going to keep beating Tom. I'm just going with percentage.
Well, Tom just keeps beating everybody else, so
That's
why
what
can't
I'm
it happen
saying.
to
So
him?
he's going to figure it out.
Look at the number at the bottom of your screen. Our analytics give the Buccaneers a 70% chance to win this game on the road. With that injury report, that would be quite a statement for Brady's Bucks to win this game on the road against their primary rival in the division this early on. We'll see Sunday. In the meantime, we're going to Dallas next. The Cowboys star has fallen with Dak's injury.